It's your boy Abdul-Salaam. Thanks for tuning in. Just so you guys know, in the description of this video is a link to get tickets. You can use my code, special code Abdul-Salaam, for a discount. I look forward to seeing you on the dance floor. 1-2-1-2. It's your boy Abdul-Salaam, aka Brother Jabril. This is Exposure. And today's special guest is Miss Kaylin Richards, aka DJ KayDee. KayDee, tell us a little about yourself, about your DJ name, where you got your DJ name, where you're from. I know you're not from Houston originally, and favorite genres besides house music.
Ooh, okay. Besides house music, well, I'll start from the top of the question. So I'm from Denver. I was telling Jabril I moved here about 4 years ago. Be 4 years for me this year in October. How I got my DJ name. So originally I'm a dancer. Before I started DJing, I was dancing. But all through my teens, I'm 25. All through my teens, Jay Dilla was my favorite music producer. That's who I was listening to for most of my time, most of my free time. I was, aside from house, listening to Jay Dilla, Slum Village, and things of that nature. So his original alias was JD. I was so influenced by him and still am so influenced by him. I just dropped the J off of JD and I took KD for myself.
Nice, very
So
cool.
that's where the name comes from. Other than house music, then you see I really love Detroit hip hop, specifically New York hip hop, disco, funk, R&B, and soul. Those are like, for me, I switch genres a lot. I'll be in one mood and then give it like a few weeks or like a month and I'll be in my next mood. So I think the mode that I'm in right now is more disco funk, but give it like a few more weeks and that might change to something else.
Do you ever get into like the big room kind of like Defected or Glitterbox style house music?
Some, yeah, definitely Defected, I think is dope. I do like Defected. House for me, I gravitate more towards like soulful house than anything because I like the spiritual element. I like the background vocals. I know growing up in the dance first before I really understood the music, I had heard the saying before vocals were important and because that's what gives it the feeling like the bass beat is always there. But when you're a dancer, it's the vocals that you're connected aside from just the steady rhythm. It's the words that you're trying to express. And for me, that really just resonated with me. Also being that I really like R&B. To have that element of like words. Sometimes it's spoken word over a track or like singing. I know gospel house they sing over the track, like just depending. But I think for house, that's more what I gravitate towards.
So I think this is a good segue actually into my favorite question, which is
Mm,
to ask you to finish the phrase I DJ because. So, what about you, KD? Why do you DJ? I DJ because. Finish that one for me.
okay. I DJ because I like the journey musically that it takes me on, and I like the experiences that it affords me, but also the listener. I think for me, well, just an example, like my past birthday, I was in New York. This past one that I just turned 25, I went to watch a Rich Medina set. That was one of the best experiences that I've had in a long time. And I love that because when you DJ, it is partially your job to provide an experience for those, like you're taking them on a musical journey that's eventful for them. Like DJing for me lets go of a lot of the stress that I accumulate in my regular life. So when I get to play and I get to see other people like really enjoying the selections, I get to see the journey that I'm taking them on. That's very rewarding for me. That's very much so a relief when I'm not dancing, when I'm the one that's selecting the tracks, when I get to see how people react, when I get to see like the room, how it carries, like that's a very rewarding feeling. So I think that's why I DJ.
Sounds like you'll be doing this for a while then.
I really do hope so, and I would love to do so. I think this has been really the perfect culmination for me to be not just a dancer, but someone that loves music, because it's not all the time that dancers really get into the culture of music.
Hmm.
So to me, I hold that very high to myself. Like a lot of people don't dig deep enough into things. They stay very surface level on them, but it's very special when you do take the time to really dig into something. Like music is so rich, and the experiences that it provides people and the feelings that it makes people feel are so special.
Yeah. I think that's really special. That's why I say that it sounds like you'll be doing this for a while. So you are a dancer. I know. I believe you're with the crew, Assorted Flavors in Houston, right? Like,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. I've been kind of a adjunct Assorted Flavors DJ. I used to be a dancer myself as well, and that's another reason why I was like, you know what? I bet you'll be doing this for a while because it's not so much that, I mean, obviously there are certain dancers, it's just got to be all about them, right? Like they're taking the floor, they're doing, especially like urban dance, like especially urban street dance. It's like, usually is about the dancer, like watch me do my thing. But
Mhm,
what I think is special about house dancing is if you've been in New York, I mean, it's not just circles that are happening. It's like people are dancing just where they are and
mhm,
looking towards the DJ, looking at each other, but still just kind of grooving and enjoying the dance. I think those type of dancers really appreciate more the music rather than just focus on me and focus on what I'm doing. It's like I'm part of this. So I think that's
mhm.
really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. That connection, I think you said it perfectly. Like it's not just about, that's a very mature understanding though. Like
Yeah.
it takes a minute for a person to realize that the music is connecting and it's not just a show for the person. It's how are we connecting through this moment?
Yeah, exactly. So where was the first place you encountered house music? What was that like?
So my dad was a b-boy, and he was a graffiti artist too. So he used to paint for a camp in Pennsylvania that just so happened some of the members of Elite Force and the New York crews, he used to take his sons to that camp and his daughter. So I met his daughter. Her name was Miyavi. This is Brooklyn Terry's daughter. If you know
Oh
Brooklyn.
yeah, Brooklyn Terry. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Legendary house dancer, legendary dancer.
Absolutely. So she was the first person to like show me a house song. The first house song I ever listened to was Kevin Everett, Gabrielle.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't even really know what house was. I didn't know what the dance was. I was about 15, almost 16 at the time. And I was just like, I don't know what this is, but it sounded good and it felt good. That was like my first encounter with house as a music and house as a dance. And from there, like to me, in my opinion, with house, it's like it takes a minute for you to really get into the culture unless you know where to go or what to look for specifically. Because if you just type house music, you're not going to get an accurate representation of like what we would actually listen to. So it took me a couple years, even from that moment, to figure it out. Like, okay, Heaven Everett. And then I started digging through his stuff. Then it was Louis Vega, Mr. V. Like, you accumulate names, but it starts with one. Like that one encounter intrigues you, but it still takes a minute to really like dig into it.
Yeah. That was Roy Davis Jr. produced that track with Pevin Everett, and Roy Davis Jr. actually is one of the reasons why I play house music. And
Mm,
um, so
though.
why do you love being a DJ? What is it about being a DJ that you love?
So I'm really nowadays I'm really into music more than I am dance because I like discovering. I like the dig. I like the search. I like what it's like to play things for people that they've never heard or mix things that are like I had no idea this could be such a good combination. So that's what I like about DJing. I like to see the joy in people. I like to see people really like feeling it and going through it. And then for myself, it's like I just love music. I love to look for unreleased tracks. I love to go back in people's catalog. That's a big thing for me. I like to not just play what the most popular thing is, but I really like to dig through people's discography. Like to me, that's fun. And that's what makes DJing fun for me is to see what I can put together, see what goes well together, see where I can take it, and then see how that affects people.
I think that's a great way to put it because you have to. I mean, you said a lot there, but one of the things I think I kind of latched on to and where I started to go um, was the finding things.
Hmm.
Because you can go on track source and I can't, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it when I listen to a set and people are putting together music of stuff I've already passed up on and have been like, oh man, this is like on 20 people's top 10 or top 20 tracks. I don't want to play that, you know.
Yeah.
I want to dig and find something good. And it's kind of hard on track source for me to really find where I've really found is on Bandcamp. And
Yes.
I love it when people come up and go, "What the hell is that? Like I've never heard that remix or I've never heard that version." I have a D'Angelo remix, and damn it, right when I said it, I started forgetting the name of the track, but I think it was Charisma or maybe this guy Never Dull did this remix, and it is fire. And I played it at the ATL Weekender. Look at me plugging myself. No, but I played it at the ATL Weekender, and I had several people come up and were like, "What was that? Like, I'd never heard that before." And these are DJs,
Yeah.
and that's when you're like, "Oh shit!" I'm doing something.
You're
Uh,
doing something, yes.
yeah, that's what I call being a tastemaker. I mean, I think it's important. I think that gives me the most fulfillment is when I'm being a tastemaker and I'm surprising people and I'm playing stuff and other DJs are like over my shoulder trying to like see the CDJ or see the
Mhm.
title, the track.
Shazam that one, yeah, you can't Shazam that.
Yeah, you can't Shazam it. I love it when people are like, I can't Shazam it on my watch or on my phone. I'm kind of sneaky though. Full disclosure, I do have the Shazam thing right here on my Apple Watch. Sometimes I'll be like, let's see what that was.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's part of the fun of it too. That's the joy of it. Like music is just so vast.
Yeah,
There's just so much. And
so
I think
much.
that's the fun of it. Like you really can be on Bandcamp for hours just
Yeah.
looking, digging, and it's so exciting. Like everything is not going to be a hit, but
Mhm.
then when you do get that one, it's like the feeling of it and then getting to play that for other people and they feel what you felt when you found it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So thanks for your time today. Why don't you tell us how people can find you? So If you have a website, if you have Instagram, social medias you want people to find you at, how do people follow you, KayDee?
Absolutely. So I primarily use Instagram.
Mhm.
My at is KD the Great, spelled out KayDeeThegra.
Okay.
I will be streaming, also probably creating a separate account, but it's all gonna be shared between that one account, KD the Great. So I'm always posting like what I'm doing. I will be posting my sets, like I said, on that account or connecting to another account. So if you want to keep in touch with me, keep up with me, I love sharing. Like, I'm a social girl and I do shamelessly love social media. I love to post. So I'm very active on there.
You're doing so I seen you on a dance floor. You're a fantastic dancer, by the way. Um, are you doing you were saying you were doing streaming. Were you considering getting like a Twitch or something like that?
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, after when we get off this call, I'm working on a wall in my house right now, just as a like backdrop. Instead of vinyls, I printed out like 90 letter size paper, sheets of paper, and I'm just taping them one next to each other so it will cover like an entire wall in my house for,
Nice.
my visual aesthetics, because I like what it looks like, but it's also the sum of my tastes and my different tastes. So
Okay.
I'll be streaming on that background.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What inspires you artistically? What does that look like?
Music, so I paint. I do paint. But and when I paint, I do portraits, I do realism, and
Hmm.
I tend to paint just people who people who inspire me. Like I made a painting for Common. I'm working on A Tribe Called Quest right now. For me, it's mostly artists who I really felt like I've resonated with, especially when I was growing up. Like as a teen, I didn't have many friends, but it was sort of by choice. And music was my like safe haven. And it was something that like kids 15, 16, 17 were not listening to Dwele or in Erica
Right.
Badu in Slum Village. They weren't doing that.
Right.
So it was just me and like my little bubble, my little world. And I like to paint the people that I feel have had a profound impact on me and like my growing up and who I still like to this day.
It's awesome. Have you been to Detroit?
I haven't been to Detroit. I
Man,
need to
I
go.
haven't either. I've been wanting to go. There's two events. One is Movement, of course, which is the big kind of techno and electronic music festival. But there's another one called Charivari, where guys like legends like Kai Alcé from Detroit, all the big like soulful and like um, the more kind of like underground people play. And Charivari is awesome. And I keep missing it year after year and saying I'm going to go. But, it's like, oh, you got to pick which festival to go to. This year I went to Chosen Few, and then we
Mhm.
got the House in the Park here. Just traveling a bunch and going to these shows, it just, it gets expensive.
I know it's where we got to hit the lotto.
Yeah, I know, right? Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, KD. And I look forward to seeing you on the dance floor behind the decks. And you got any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
Ooh, let me shout out, of course, Assorted Flavors.
Yeah.
Stephen Motion for really being so supportive in what I do with both DJing and dancing. I think he's one of my best friends and someone that like keeps keeps my head on pretty straight. And he actually sort of plugged me into this. Like I know when he can, he always puts in a good word for me, and
Hmm.
I just love and appreciate him dearly. So
Yeah.
shout
Steven's the
out to
homie.
Mosh.
Shout out. Man, Steven and I go way back. I remember that dude is like 17. 18 going to the parties that I was playing at. Him and I don't know if you got a chance to meet Nas,
Yes, yes, I have met.
Damien, all
Mm-hmm.
those guys, man. They just kind of welcomed me into their crew. You know, I used to dance way back in the days, so this is like, 90s, early 90s dancing in you know, and I never thought I'd be a DJ. Honestly, I thought I'd be a professional dancer. That was my focus when I was younger. In my 20s,
Yeah.
till knees started to go out and everything. No.
Yeah, it's hard on the body. I'm feeling my back. My back is my next
Yeah,
day.
yeah, exactly. So, well, great. It was great talking to you. It looks like we're running out of time, but I will catch you at the event.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
You got it. My pleasure. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.
Peace. Once again, I'd like to thank my guest for today, DJ KayDee. Make sure you follow the description below to the link and use my code JSalam for your very special price on admission. We'll see you guys Friday on the dance floor. Peace and God bless.